Hi, good evening. This is like take 7 of this video. Yeah. But anyway, no worries. Technology and just listening to myself play it all back. But anyway, tonight I want to start a journey over the next few days and talking about well-being and our annual exams and the ones that are necessary and why they're necessary. And I want to first of all talk tonight about like a pivotal moment in my wellness journey. Came when I was 37, so about 13 years ago. I read this book by Suzanne Summers called Breakthrough, and I just was blown away by Suzanne Summers' work and the doctors that she had aligned herself with, the research that she could support this information with in this book it just blew my mind. I was just really impressed. And in fact, after I read her book, it made me realize that there were a lot of things about me that I didn't know and I should know. I started telling all my friends about this book. I thought it was such a game changer and a life changer for me. They all made fun of me. Really funny that I would overhear them in conversations talking about me. Sometimes they'd call each other up on the phone and one wouldn't know I was with the other friend, and I could hear through the phone like people making comments. And it's just really funny. I've been able to laugh it off through the years. Because at the end of the day, I think that they've all ended up pretty much where I am. They just ended up there a little bit later, or they're not doing anything at all. But it's really been about, for me, aging gracefully and aging so that I can still perform or live at an optimal level. I said this in an earlier post. Your body is the one thing you carry with you through your entire life, right? It's the thing that's with you from day 1 to day 0. And I'm reading a book right now by Darren Olean, Super Life. And one of the points Darren Olean makes is if you were to buy a Ferrari, you would probably make sure that every time you filled it up, you'd put premium gasoline in it. You would get its checkups on time, and you'd ask a lot of questions. And you'd ensure that you were taking really good care of this new Ferrari or this Ferrari so that it could last as long as you could possibly make it last and perform at an optimal level. So why would you not do that for yourself? And I think that's so important. And one of the things that we often don't do when we get our annual exams is ask enough questions. We just take our doctor's word for it. Everything looks good. You got the blood work. We get the blood work they tell us that they say we need to get, right? And we don't ask a lot of questions about what's on that blood work or what the numbers all mean. And a lot of us look at them and we go, this is so foreign to me. And it can be, right? But those are things that we need to start paying attention. We do need to pay attention to, and we need to ask questions about. So when I was 37, and I went to my OBGYN and I was like, hey, I want to know about my hormone levels. And he's like, you're fine. Like you're not in a stage of life yet where anything is shifted or changed. You don't have any symptoms that tell me that we need to be really looking at your hormones right now. And I don't think you need to worry about it. And I was like, look, I want a baseline. I want to know where I am today so that 10 years from now when things possibly start to change, or when things start to change, I can look back and see where I was at this stage in life where I do feel so good. So that I can kind of see how I can stay somewhere in the ballpark. And I say stay somewhere in the ballpark because I know that there's no way for me to replace a deficiency at the level of a 20-year-old or my 20-year-old self or my 30-year-old self, because there are side effects when we try to pump a lot of medicines in our body or supplements in our body to make our bodies be the same that it was when we were in our younger days in life. It's just really not possible, and it's not really smart. But we can make sure that when we are replacing a deficiency in our body, whether it's cholesterol, like trying to stabilize our cholesterol levels, some sort of other heart medication, or blood pressure medication, or hormone replacements, that we're doing it in a responsible way that also allows us to live an optimal life. And so I started at the age of 37, making sure that I had my health records right, and I have all these numbers that I can look at, and I can go back and see what I looked like at 37 at 38, at 39, and so on. And so when I'm having conversations with doctors and specialized doctors, if I need that, in fact, at 47, I started to sit down and talk to a hormone specialist, and look at those numbers and see how they had shifted, and asked questions, and it was really a good conversation, and they were really impressed that I could go in with 10 years worth of medical history to have that conversation, because not many people can do that. So I really encourage you to make sure that you're keeping your blood work year after year, that you have a history of your own blood work, no matter where you are in life. I don't care if you're 60, do it from now until forever. If you're in your early 30s, then yes, get those numbers, those baselines, have all of your numbers. Know your glucose, know your triglycerides, know your LDL, your HDL, know what your blood pressure looks like, know what your potassium levels look like, your iron levels look like, everything on here, your creatinine, right? Your sodium, your chloride. There's so many numbers on here that I'm not going to go through the entire list, but knowing those numbers and being able to look at them, and then also know what numbers are missing. So when I went to my OBGYN, I'm like, where's my progesterone? Where's my TSH, my FSH, my estradiol, my estrogen, and my progesterone? I want to know where those numbers are. And they were like, that's an extra panel that you have to order. And I was like, great, let's order it. I really want to know what those numbers look like. And it was a little bit of an extra cost for me, but it's been worth it to know my biometrics, and to know what my numbers look like, and what they should look like, or what I'd like for them to look like, so that I feel good every day, so that I am able to go have a great time with my grandson, and just still enjoy life the way that I like to enjoy life. And also understanding medication and pharmaceuticals, and what is in them, and where they're derived from, so that I can make sure that whatever I'm putting in my body is as biologically similar to what my body would produce as possible. And we'll talk a little bit more about that over the next few days, when I get into more of what annual exams I get. First and foremost, we'll talk about just the primary annual exam. Make sure you're looking at your blood pressure, you're looking at your cholesterol levels, make sure you understand what those numbers mean, your glucose, and that you are in not just a healthy range for your age, but a healthy range for you. And so what that would mean is you're going to probably need to know a little bit about your back history. But if you don't know what that is, knowing how you feel every day when you wake up, and understanding how those numbers impact how you feel. So for example, cholesterol, like there's the lousy cholesterol number, and then there's the good cholesterol number. The LDL is lousy, the HDL is good. Your body needs cholesterol. That's to produce hormones and to help your body metabolize fat. But too much cholesterol can be a negative can have a negative impact on your health. I will say this, when I started really looking at my numbers and asking my doctors questions, it also gave me pause to look at my doctors and how they aligned with the direction I was taking for my healthcare in my life. And I had to make a couple of changes. I changed my OBGYN. My primary care physician happens to be someone that has some wonderful nurse practitioners on staff, and the one that I work with, or the one I see works with me really well and taking care of me the way that I like to be taken care of. She has an integrative approach, and it's very important to me that we work from that angle, and she is very respectful of that. So you have a right to ask your physicians questions. You have a right to choose physicians that make sense for you and make changes where it's necessary. I also changed another physician that was a specialized doctor. I had to have something work done, and he ended up having me take double antibiotics, and I questioned him, but still followed his advice, and ended up in the hospital for 4 days, lost 11 pounds with C. diff colitis. I thought I could see through my body. Even while I was in the hospital, I was on this IV, and there was so much going on in the IV that I wasn't able to keep food down, and I kept getting sick. And so I'm going to tell you, if I hadn't been in touch with what was going on with me, I don't know that I'd be here right now having this conversation. And so you have a right to question everybody in every situation, because your body belongs to you. And so you are your own best advocate. And I just want to encourage you to start to look at yourself and care for yourself in a manner that you would your most prized possession in life. And so anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys some more later on. Thanks.